Well, what an interesting day. So we're gonna talk about club travel now. So please ignore if you can hear the background. We're okay. We're gonna talk a little bit more now on the actual travel aspect. If your actual club organization is planning to travel off campus and trying to represent your club. So with that being said, I hope you can still um yes, I know Meredith's laughing. Control yourself, Meredith. I just see Meredith's face flashing. But that's okay. Um, all right. So club travel. So any club or chapter entity, uh, the chat is wild, y'all. I cannot. All right, focus. Any club, org, or chapter is required to complete a travel case and an annual transfer certification form if they want to travel. So if your club is traveling away for more than 50 miles or more from Flagstaff, so General Flagstaff Mountain Campus, and you're representing the club, and in the future you're seeking reimbursement from NAU, or if you're seeking reimbursement from NAU, you have to complete these requirements. So to mention, before the semester begins, anything like you could do it this, you can even do it today or tomorrow, or you know for a fact that your club is traveling because of a competition or anything like that. Please have every single member who's going to be planning to travel complete the annual travel certification form, which I'll provide you all with a link here. Oh, okay. There you go. This link is basically a link where you will be able to actually just notify the university that you're traveling for at least this academic year. And it's a very simple form that you will have to just log in with your NAU credentials and say, yes, I know I'm traveling. Yes, I am an authorized driver, or no, I am not an authorized driver. Uh, please let me travel. I'm exaggerating, but technically you're notifying the actual institution that you're traveling. So that way you're more than welcome to do this at any time, but make sure that it has to be done before your actual members leave away from NAU Flagstaff Mountain campus. And it's super simple. It should take you 2 minutes. So if you're more than welcome to do this at this moment, if you know that you're gonna be competing or so on, anytime throughout the academic year or going to a conference, please get this done ASAP. Now, remember that we talked to you about that every single club needs to submit all of their events in TrueBlue Connects. Well, a club travel is considered an event. So the process will be that when you are ready to go to a conference, or you want to go to a conference or compete at a baseball game as a club in California, you will submit a TrueBlue events request, complete all the information, and your next step is to complete a club travel form. And this is basically where the actual website is. You just go to nau.edu, sorry, nau.service/now.com/HR. So when you click on that website, it will take you here. It will either take you to the main page, and it'll have you log into your actual NAU. Oh, interesting. NAU TrueBlue Connect. No, sorry. It will take you to the ServiceNow software website, where it will ask you to utilize your NAU credentials to log in. When you submit a TrueBlue events request, we will ask you a bunch of information about this trip, and it provides you with the actual link to this software as well. So if for some reason you lose the website or don't know how to get there, you can actually also just Google NAU ServiceNow, or again, you submitted the event request in TrueBlue Connects. The actual text of NAU service team should be hyperlinked in the form as well. When you continue with your NAU credentials, it will take you to the home page NAU service team. Please ignore the employee service center. It's technically just a service center, so please make sure you just focus on this. You're gonna type in travel, and you can click on travel support. and it will take you to a whole different page that looks just like this. Ah, the beautiful travel support. Perfect. Keep in mind that here are some templates that are going to be very, very useful for you to utilize. So similar to of a club, I'm the coffee club and I'm traveling as a group. Even if you're traveling as an individual, but you're representing the club at this conference or at this game, you still need to complete the travel case. Keep that in mind. So I'm traveling as a club. I am a student group travel. Okay. What is my group name? The coffee club. Now, be very careful here because a lot of you are actually making a mistake here. When you log into your actual service team and service team now page and you click on the travel form, you need to be mindful that it automatically fills this section for you, which is incorrect. You are not the faculty or staff member who's approving this case. It's the software, it really is, we can change it. So you need to change this and make sure that you input your faculty's identification username. So it could be, sometimes you could type it in. I'm gonna type in Michelle. Michelle, what is yours?
MG249.
It takes a long time sometimes to load it, and you will be able to see that Michelle will pop up. Okay, please, please, please make sure you select your faculty or staff advisor. Okay, then you will tell it when you're traveling. I'm traveling, my group is traveling for the 26th all the way to the 30th. Ugh, I don't know what's happening here. Great. Perfect. My description, you would just have to, obviously, are you traveling out of the country, in the country? My club is just traveling within the country, and obviously you would just fill out the information that will provide you with filling in the blanks. Sacramento. And similar, 26 to the 30th. Yeah, perfect. Add my location. What type of travel? No, there's a green line. Sorry. um, what type of travel am I using? That depends on what type of travel your club is actually executing. Okay, so a lot of you will actually do conferences. Perfect. A lot of you travel for meetings or whatever. Most likely just type the conference. Oh, sorry. Just type the conference aspect. Or again, whatever actually is closest to your actual travel reasoning. You will not be requesting any cash advance. Okay. What type of conference? You're just maybe attending only, right? And you will actually provide the website of the conference, NAU.edu / I'm just going to create one, BLS, which is actually a conference here at NAU, but you're traveling away. So just trying to fill in the blank. If you have any travel information or accommodations, you'll tap it here. Just type. Perfect. You will then provide a justification why your club is traveling. So please, we don't need a whole essay. Just try to provide a quick little paragraph that provides enough context of why you're traveling. Mostly, a lot of you already provide this paragraph in your True Blue Connects event request that you submitted. So if it's enough detailed enough, then you could just copy and paste it here. But if it's not detailed enough, then we'll most likely need to provide, we'll ask you to provide more context. So I'm just gonna type. You will most likely, you don't have a PCAR, so please ignore this. Who is booking this trip? Predominantly you're booking this trip, so you could just do third party because you're booking it. Just let it be. And how is this trip funded? You could do personal funds, third party. If you're trying to seek ASNAU funding, that's a whole different process, and that is not guaranteed, right? So at this moment, you technically don't have the funding from NAU if you're seeking reimbursement from SNAU or other entities like a college camp, a college like CIOS or a department like First Gen, right? So for now, you would just either whatever you want to do, either personal funds or third party. Now, this is another mistake that many people often deal with. What department is authorizing the travel? You will need to make sure that you include student engagement if you are a regular club, organization, or Greek chapter, you have to include student engagement. Not Office of the Dean of Students, not Campus Rec, nothing like that. Please include student engagement. If for some reason, not for some reason, that's one thing. You will select recreational services if you are officially registered as a sports club. So if I'm a sports club, for example, like the baseball team, instead of putting student engagement, I will put recreational. Recreation service. Recreation services. Sorry. If I'm a sports club. But if I'm not a sports club, if I'm not an official sports club, then I would just put student engagement. Then you would just answer enough information that will make sense for your actual case. You hit the acknowledge, but before you actually submit your actual travel case, you need to include a full roster and an itinerary for the travel. And you don't have to create these actual documents from scratch because if I recall correctly, I pointed out these lovely templates, right? You could use these templates to make it much easier for you. Here is a template of an itinerary that will be very, very helpful for all of you. Again, we don't need you to write an essay for every single day that you're planning to do. We just need to know exactly what your club, organization, or chapter is actually going to be executing when they're traveling. You fill out all this information and it needs to mirror what you submitted in the TrueBlue Connects event request and in your case, right? In your travel case. Let's say, for example, that you are technically traveling for a conference. Perfect. Write the day, the first day of the conference, 0826, right? I'm arriving at this time. And then you could say the first line will be, we're eating lunch at 8 a.m. at the airport, arriving at the hotel 10 p.m. At the new airport at 10 p.m. because of 12-hour flight, whatever it is, or whatever it is. And then arriving at the hotel at this time. Day number 2, all day conference. Perfect. Day number 3, all day conference. Perfect. Day number 4, if you're returning on day number 4, then you can let us know when you're coming back, what time is your flight, and so on. Again, very simple, little fill in the lines, just call it a day. That's the itinerary that needs to be submitted. And you could obviously attach it here, add attachments. That's one document. Then the second document is going to be your group travel roster. So this group travel roster is another great example for you to utilize. You could create your own, but I'm telling you, these resources are here for you to just utilize and just make it easy for you. There's a lot of information which you don't need to complete every single column. However, the columns that you must have for us to be able to approve it is actually listing the first and last name of the individual traveling, the traveler's NEU status, if there's, and it will give you option whether they're NEU student, NEU employee, or community member, the traveler's email, their phone number, and their advisor's email. Okay, so traveler's name, traveler's status, traveler's email, traveler's phone number, and listing your advisor here. If you have their employee IDs, perfect. If you have their addresses, perfect. We don't need that on our end, right? But if you have it, more than welcome to add it. But those are the only columns that we need you all to make sure that you have filled out in your travel case, in your roster. Once you submit, once you have those documents and you attach it, I will encourage you to complete those documents first, so that way it's easier for you to just attach them. Then you will just submit your actual travel case, and it will create a whole new case for you, and it will give you a case number. And the case number, let's see if I can share. Let me stop sharing for a little bit. I want to give you an example. of what it will look like if I can. When you click submit and you have attached those two documents into your travel case, you will be able to actually see a brand new page and say, and in the top right left corner, you will see a case number that will start with HR something. So here's an example for one of our chapters who's planning to travel. It will pop up just like this, right? And this is the travel case number that you need to remember, not remember, but you need to copy and paste this travel case into a comment in your TrueBlue Connects event request form. We will ask you, please make sure you copy and paste your travel case as a comment on this TrueBlue Connects event request. And you will be able to manage it here. You will see all the details that you completed, all the activity, who needs to continue to approve it if they already approved it, and all the attachments that you have included. So in the activity section, you most likely will be able to get more information of like, hey, this does not meet our standards. Please make sure that you upload a correct roster, or please make sure you provide more context in your itinerary or something like this. So please know that this will be something that will need to be completed before you actually travel. If the travel case is approved and it looks good, we'll hit approve, and then we'll also then go back and approve the actual TrueBlue Connects event request form that you submitted. And that will allow you to go and travel the world. Just kidding. Travel to whatever you need to go to, whether it's your conference or your competition or whatever it is. Any questions on that? Yes. That's a great question, Logan. So you're more than welcome to, sometimes these change, and sometimes people say that they're going to go to your actual conference or competition, and at the end of the day, they don't. So as long as we have an initial roster and us, let's say for example, is the date of the actual travel, then that's when you actually need to upload an updated roster before you travel. If that's not the case, because I guess that the day of the travel can be very hectic, as soon as you come back for the travel or during the time that you're traveling, please upload the updated roster so that way NAU knows exactly who actually went on this trip. Yes, but anytime, and similar to the itinerary, if things changed in the itinerary because maybe the conference went short and maybe they have to cancel a day due to unforeseen circumstances, then just make sure you update your itinerary as well too. If you're planning to go on a group trip during spring break in 2025, when we can be submitted by. So remember that you need to make sure for any event request that you're submitting, it needs to be 10 days prior to the actual day of the event. So when you submit your event in TrueBlue Connects, we recommend you to actually submit your travel case right after, if possible. So that way we could have similar timing to make sure that we approve both of them. Without the approval of either, without having approval for both of them, you will not be authorized to travel. Okay. Oh, gosh. Perfect. All right, now we're gonna switch it up. I hope this is helpful. The actual and Microsoft Teams under the officers channel and files, you should be able to see an actual video recording from last semester, but also those two documents that I just shared with you all in a folder called travel. You will be able to retrieve them from there if you're Microsoft Teams representative. But other than that, if not, then you're more than welcome again to just go directly to the website and be able to retrieve those documents and fill them out and complete the travel form. Perfect. All right, now we're going to talk a little bit more different than travel. Second, to the right page. Push. There we go.